Yeah. Woo! I've got to wait till it comes up so I can turn the volume down. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody in TV land. Hello, people in my Zoom room. Um, it's Laura Ward, and we're going to work on spinal mobility today. And it's somatic mat. This is an exercise class with a body as subject dynamic process focus. And hopefully the cats are going to come and run around because they've been in really good form this morning. So let's start. Big inhale, breathing, reach out and up. And exhale, just easy shake. Shake out. Release your body, letting go of any extra tension that you can just shake out of your body. Inhale, open. Opening your heart, opening your lungs, reaching up. And exhale, shake it out. Let it go, coming down. There we go. And again, inhale, stretch it up. Lift and open. And exhale, shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Free up your body. And we're also going to work with really three-dimensional movement. So this, as we're moving up and then shaking out, we're really in the vertical plane. Like I'm reaching out and up. I've got my up, down. I've got my side, side. Shake, shake, shake. One more time, vertical plane. Opening it up and shake, shake, shake. Then we're going to go into the horizontal plane with some spiraling, just twisting, looking around behind you. We've got our side, side, and we've got some forward, backward. All of the shaking and movement is going to also help stimulate our lymphatic system. So we're getting the spiral in our spine, in our organs, ideally looking all the way behind us every time. And then we're going to do the sagittal sagittal plane. So a dimension is two dimension, two directions. A plane is two dimensions put together. So that looks weird, but it's like 2D, like a piece of paper. So we're going to go into the wheel plane. We're going to take our arms up, bend our knees, and soften. And then let the arms keep going as far as they want. They'll drop back down, reaching forward and coming up. So I'm going to show you this sideways. I'm bending my knees, softening, and then reaching out and coming back up. It's the wheel plane, the sagittal plane, forward, backward, up and down. So for right now, I'm going to take a little arch back, and then I'm going to drop down, softening my spine. I'm letting my legs support my back, so this isn't a lot of work. And then coming up to the ceiling. There we have the three planes: vertical plane, horizontal plane, sagittal plane. So when we keep moving between these things, we're giving our nervous system more of a chance to, yeah, let's just do that for a second. Just reaching out, contralateral movement, cross-body movement. It's in the sagittal plane. Like if I walk forward, moving forward in space, exaggerating my arms and legs, moving back, I'm getting this pattern of contralateral movement through our body. Running, sagittal movement, running forward, running back, getting that extra bounce. And before we go to the floor, let's just do the dimensional cross of axis, since it's been the main theme of my week and the next 10 day or whatever. I'm on day 6. So we're going to reach place high and take it down to place low. Let's just do that hand a few times. So vertical dimension, up and down, up and down. And then the other side of my body, up and down. Vertical dimension, place high and place low. Mobilizing. And then we're going to cross and open. So coming back, crossing over, and then opening wide. Big weight shift. Crossing over, opening wide. Crossing over, opening wide. To the other side. Crossing over, opening wide. Step across, open it out. Side across, and open. And then backwards and forwards, going back to this side, taking it back behind me, and then straight in front. Back middle, forward middle, sagittal. Back middle, forward middle. One more. Back middle, forward middle. Other side. taking it back. We're going to get on the floor in a second. And forward, backward, and forward, backward. Okay, I see you. And forward. And last one. All right, let's take it down. Cross-legged position on the floor. And we're going to do side-side stretching. So from one side to the other. If I'm talking again in terms of the planes, this would be the vertical plane. I've got my up, down, and my side. If I add forward, backward to it, I take it into the sagittal, and then I come back to the vertical. And I'm coming up through the vertical, moving into the sagittal, back to the vertical, opening up. Doesn't matter if you know this or if you remember this. It's just ways of mapping space and understanding how have I been moving, what have I been moving in, am I getting really three-dimensional movement? And then coming up, take it just forward and shift through your spine. So offering your spine some mobility from your tail to your head to your tail. Thinking of all the little intrinsic muscles, all the fascia, the whole system of tensegrity, biotensegrity in your body. Just having some play, having some movement. Relax your neck, relax your head, relax your jaw, and then bring it up. And let's change legs. So non-dominant leg goes in front. And let's circle sideways and forward and sideways and opening it up. Alternating from side to side, head to tail to head movement. Peapod. And then let's just circle our organs. So again, we're mobilizing our whole spine. We're thinking of the head, the rib cage, and the pelvis as these three big bony basins that are all mobilizing. And we're not trying to stabilize anything right now. We're just letting it all move. Organs, bones, fascia. And as we're moving, the fluid in our body is readjusting to wherever it needs to be. Change direction. We're mobilizing, especially with this movement, really mobilizing the diaphragm, mobilizing the rib cage, lungs, and heart. And I even think like, it's not something, it's just something I've been thinking about lately, is when we move here, we're moving our brain also, right? We're moving the relationship of like in the center of our head going down is the foramen magnum. And that's where our brainstem goes down. It goes down into our spinal cord, all the nerves going down there. So if I'm moving like this, there's all that spinal cord that's coming out of my brain is going to have a different relationship with different parts of my brain. So even as I'm moving my head around, so let's just take our hands, fingers, lightly on the back of your head, and very easily and gently moving your head around. So there's some freedom in the relationship between your head and your spine, head, tail, neck, jaw, and tongue. So I have my hands like this. And I'm just so I can feel the movement, and I'm letting it be very easy. So I'm not trying to grip or clench. I'm trying to be very soft and gentle. And then we're going to do one more thing here. You can change your legs if you want to sit in a different position. Like I just need to straighten my legs out and bang them around for a second. The thing that we're going to do is we're just going to say no. No, 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 no. Probably most people would have benefited from saying no more often in their life. And then we'll shift it to saying yes. Because also there are times maybe where we want to say yes. Or maybe we would have benefited to saying yes to something. So just practicing in our body, how is it to say yes? How is it to say no? And also to say, like I have got some stuff going on in my upper back, neck, and shoulders. So I want to have that freedom and mobility as much as possible in there. Let's take our hands behind and we're going to do a cat-cow here. So just readjust my mat. So I'm going to take my hands behind and my fingertips are pointing front. If it's more comfortable for you to put your fingertips to the back, feel free to do that. From here, I'm going to push, arch, and open, and I'm pushing with my arms. So I'm feeling that relationship of my arms into my body. And then I'm going to hollow and curl and round, and I'm going to let my shoulders come forward. So I'm really curling in, pushing, arching, and opening, chest, lungs, heart. And then head, tail, hollow, curl. Let your shoulders actually come forward. So it's like you're protecting yourself, turtling in. And then arch and lift, push, open. See if you can open even more. And then hollow, curl, soften, round, and push the shoulders forward. Inhale, arch, open, and hollow and curl. So this is movement in the sagittal plane, right? The wheel plane. Then we're going to spiral. We're going to spiral all the way down to the floor and then push the floor away and spiral the other way. So this is massaging through my butt and through my hips. And we're getting this twist in our spine, right? With these different relationships to gravity. Down towards the floor, coming up maybe on the incline, and then taking it back down towards the floor. We're going to go a little deeper with this. Take it down to the floor on one side, and in that position, add a very small little arch and curl. So it doesn't have to be big, but a little bit more movement, right? So now we're asking for more movement while we're actually in this spiral. Not so that it hurts, just so that it's small and sustainable. And then take it to the other side. Sustainable movement. And the same thing, curl and arch, as big or small as feels good to you, really listening into your body. Chest, lungs, and heart opening, curling back, arching through. And then coming down onto your back on the floor. And let's just do, let's just warm up our backs a little bit more. So pressing up, and then you can, let's roll up and down, rolling all the way up. Once you get to the top, you've rolled up, you're going to push so that your chest comes towards your chin, and you're going to fire up the back of the legs a little bit, feeling your butt and hamstrings, and then you're going to pull, knees go away from your head, and then you're going to soften, roll it all the way down to the floor. And at the bottom, arch your back, inhale, lifting your waist up off the floor. So you could slide your hand underneath there. Then you're going to flatten that out, curl, roll it up. On an exhale, inhale, push, chest goes towards your chin. Exhale, pull, knees go away from you. Roll it down through your spine. Inhale, arch, opening the front of your body, arching your back, your butt still on the floor. Exhale, curl, push into your feet, roll it up through your spine. Inhale, chest to chin, push. Exhale, pull, knees toward the mirror. There's no mirror in here. This is what I would say if I was teaching in the gym. Inhale, arch, knees away from your head. Exhale, curl, roll it up, vertebra by vertebra. Push, chest to chin, increase the arch. Exhale, flatten out, pull, knees away from you. Roll it all the way down. Now we're going to change that completely. So we're going to lift our pelvis and just circle the hips. So again, we're mobilizing our whole spine here. Try not to clench into that. Let the muscles work as they need to. So much fitness is like, squeeze it in, clench, feel the burn. And I feel like that is not the most functional way of moving. That's really starting to drive the car with the brakes on. Change direction. Like you're working way harder than necessary. So we get used to taking on tension in our body, and then we feel okay with it, right? Oh, that's normal. And tension masks sensation. So if you're, really tense, you're not going to feel anything. And so that's one of the things with traditional fitness. It's like, oh, we're just over, what is it? Lord, I don't know how to say it. Over whatever our body, we're enforcing on our body. That's not the greatest relationship to have with your body. I'm not saying don't do hard things, but just imposition. You do not need to impose your will in like a violent manner on your body. working together instead is going to be a lot more user-friendly and healthy on a cellular level. So let's press our pelvis up, bring your feet just a little closer together. We're going to go for a walk here. Knees can stay bent, just pushing off the floor. Pelvis is high. You can exhale up, inhale down. Bonnie, this is a thigh lift with a forward pelvic shift at the same time. So just pressing up. Once my leg gets higher, it actually becomes easier because the weight of my leg has come towards me. That's my experience in my body. Depending on your flexibility, it could be very different for you. Couple more. And we're going to take it all the way down. And happy baby. Free flow in your happy baby. Let yourself stretch out. Do whatever you got to do. Roll around if that feels good or not. You can just stay in the baby and play there. Who doesn't need more time in happy baby pose? I just wish all the politicians in the world would spend like 5 minutes a day in happy baby. Get Putin into some happy baby pose. Let's shift things around. Change things. Soften. And then we're going to do elbow to knee, crossing over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, especially the warmongers. Throw those warmongers into happy baby. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop it down. Relax your head, turn it from side to side. Let your spine free up, right? Let go. If you're holding something in there, just let it go. Shake it out, soften, make some noise. Shake, release, breathe. And then we'll take our knees up and spiral. Feet off the floor, turning your head away from your legs. As you're moving through this center part, let it really massage through your back. So taking the time to get that massage. If you want to make this harder, you can straighten out your legs. Breathing. Opening the chest and lungs. Last one. And bringing it in. And just readjust yourself. We're going to open, I'm going to shut that curtain a little bit. It is super bright. All right, somewhat more manageable, even though it felt pretty good to be in the sun. Okay, so we're going to open up into the shape of an X. You're just going to take your elbow to knee on one side and stretch it out, and then elbow to knee on the other side. So it's called body half. It's a Bartenia fundamental. And it's like a little side, I don't want to say a side crunch, although it is kind of like a side crunch, but don't think of it as crunching anything. Just think of it almost like maybe listening to your knee and then sliding it out, and then listening to your knee and sliding it out. And then we'll take a heel rock in that big open X space. See if you can really release head, neck, jaw, tongue, soften, easy and loose. Free up your spine. Yeah, so Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, there was some quote somewhere on social media from Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen, who is a big somatics force of nature and has created body-mind centering. And she's talking about the spine. And people want to have a more flexible spine, but it's not necessarily about the bones having more movement. It's about the muscles and the fascia and the organs and the tissues all around that being able to have that movement as well, right? It's not just one thing that needs to be able to move. It's the whole thing. So if we're creating these really tight tension patterns that are squishing things in and holding it all together, we're not giving our body that chance to breathe and to be soft and to have movement. All right, so let's go with, let's do this. You're going to take one knee down. So this leg is on the floor. The other foot is flat on the floor. This knee is pointing up to the ceiling. And I'm just going to push up on the diagonal. So in that position, I'm going to pulse. And I'm going to try and push evenly from both sides. If this hurts your back, don't do it. But if it feels okay, you're pulsing out on the diagonal, going 1, 2, 3. Try to feel evenly pushing from both sides. They're doing very different things, so it's going to feel different. 10, 9, 8, but you want to try and press evenly from both sides. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down, relax it as much as you can, shift it over to the other side, pressing up on the diagonal there for 20. Going 1, 2, 3. Relax your shoulders, push. Try to get both legs and back working sort of evenly. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it in. And we're going to just shake out the legs. And in that legs up position, rotate your knees in and then rotate them out. So that would look like this. This is internal rotation, external rotation. And my feet are kind of relaxed, my legs are bent. Just see if you can get some internal and external rotation up there. Yeah, we want the tissue in our body to be able to have dimensionality, have this possibility of movement. And if we always just do things in one direction, then we're losing that kind of flexibility. We're losing that kind of capacity to adjust. Let's go with some really easy loose knee drops, just letting the legs fall one way, opening all the way, and then closing. So I teach this differently. There is a Bartenia fundamental exercise called the knee drop. This is not it. This is the lower knee drop, just from side to side, letting it massage through your glutes, relaxing your butt, relaxing your back. Yeah, so if we're holding a lot of tension in our rotators and in our glutes, that's also going to be affecting our back. If we're holding a lot of tension in our pelvic floor, it's going to be pulling on our back. If we're holding a lot of tension or there's a lot of inflammation in our guts, that's going to be pulling on our back, right? So the whole thing, the whole body health that we're looking for, includes the gut brain axis. All the things have to be working together. That feels so good. So this really massages out the space for me between my shoulder blades in my rhomboids. And then bringing it in. Pick up your butt, give it a shake, let it soften and release. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. So we want to be like Jello here. Samba, party, in carnival. Shake everything you got. Let it go. And release. Yeah, we have such cultural ideas about what should shake or not in our own body. So let me just tell you, everything should be able to shake a little bit, right? We should have some fluidity and fluency in our tissue, in our joints, in our being. All right, hands down by your sides, legs up. My favorite, leg circle. I'm going to point up and then flex down. You can make this small or big, whatever feels good to you. You can even peel up off the floor, but don't do it if that hurts. Really listen into your own body. Two more. Last one. Let's leave them open to the side. Circle your ankles, big circles. You can grab on, hold on, and then change direction the other way. And then we're just going to rock from side to side. So rocking with legs open, letting that massage through your back. Yeah, softening, easy, and relaxed. And then we're going to fold onto one side, melting into the floor, opening through the center, and folding in on the other side. So we're body halving this with one half opening and then the other half closing. This is a homolateral, one side And then the other side, exercise. One side opens, opens, opens. Other side closes, closes, closes. Opens, opens, opens. Closes, closes, closes. Try to relax your head and neck as much as you can. So feel what's happening. Sometimes we want to clench in. Let it be soft and just pour yourself across. And then fold and pour it in. Relaxing head, neck, and upper back. One more. And then come back in. And let's roll back and forth. Roll a few times if that feels good. If it feels okay, take it all the way into a plow. If that doesn't feel good, just keep going side side. And then coming up, and let's flip over onto hands and knees. So in our hands and knees position, open your hands so that they are as wide as your mat. Draw your shoulders into your body, and we're going to circle chest towards the floor and then up. You can shift from side to side with this circle, using your breath, mobilizing rib cage, lungs, heart, and spine. And then change direction other way, right? Like we would have far fewer heart attacks if those politicians were doing this action. I don't know why I keep talking about politicians today. We are going to start our board meeting after everybody has yoga class, and we're all going to breathe together, and we're going to om, and then we're going to discuss what needs to happen. I just feel like the world would be such a better place. Then at the end of work, we're going to meditate together. On peace in the world. All right, just got to share some dreams with you. I really want that for the corporate world, for the political world, that we tune into movement, we move together, we open our hearts together, and then we do the work. All right, opposite arm to leg, out, in, out, and change. Contralateral pattern, touch, reach, and change. Out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in, out. So, I mean, it works in the army, right? They get a bunch of people moving together, and that builds a bond. That's very prescribed, pretty rigid movement. So it's going to be more controlled bonding. What if we had some free flow movement? Maybe some free thinking. Out, in, out, out, in, out, and take it in. And it was interesting because I was on a dance educators in the Hudson Valley call yesterday, and somebody said that they were talking about teaching dance to women versus men, and somebody said, yeah, somebody was working with dancing, like dance for soldiers. And the interesting thing is, historically, in Europe, in like the turn of the century, late 1800s, each town had its own dance. And so the military people would look for the good dancers, the good male dancers, because they would be good people to have in the military. So it's interesting how that, because they could move, they could work in unison with other people, they had agility, they would be good fighters. So it's interesting, this relationship of groups of people moving together and what that can mean. Yeah, so those, movement patterns had structure and order, right? What if we find free-flowing movement patterns with much more creative, generative capacity? So let's come into you can do this on hands and knees. If you have any knee issues, you could also just do this seated and find free flow in your spine, but we're going to do free flow spinal movement with a theta breath. So the theta breath is the soft hissing sound. And conversely, like military pageantry in the late 1800s was something that, it's still the same thing. Like people see a bunch of people moving together and it impresses us. It's not that different than choreography. Yeah. Oh, I want to join that group of people who look so cool. They're all moving together. They have nice uniforms. So just finding these ways that things are actually very much alike. So in the free flow movement, see if you can start to do things that aren't in your normal pattern. So generally, as soon as you've established that you're making a pattern in free flow, change it to something else. You can slow down, you can speed up, you can change the space you're moving in, you can break rules, you could like shift so it's not just spinal movement, it becomes something else, right? This class is not for you, or not for you, it's not for you, it's for me. This class is not for me, it's for you. So make it work for your body. So let's get just a little bit more exploratory. You don't have to do what I'm doing, you can do whatever. Listen to your own body. Letting the free flow movement get a little bit more improvisational. And if that whole idea of improvisation is daunting, then there's a great thing to lean into, right? Oh, improvisation is scary. So, what's scary about it? I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Well, there is no right and wrong here. Breathing, free flow the spine. You can always come back to what's familiar if you start feeling too weird. Let's let that go. We're going to do these little opening up and turning it in. So I want you to think of this. Maybe you can think that your fingers are carving through the space, so your fingers are initiating the movement. This would create the fingers, we can say they're the distal part of our body, they're the far edges. So when I start with this moving from my fingers and letting it move into my body, I'm playing with a distal core pattern from the edge to the center. And then free it up. Just let them move in some different ways. So more free flow, finding the pinky, scapula, clavicle relationship, your humerus in there, scapula-humeral rhythm, and letting it have some freedom, some mobility, some life energy where you're feeling, this connectedness, or you're inviting in the sense of connectedness in your own body, sense of connectedness. And I'm also freeing up my spine as I do this. So free flow movement in my spine, free flow movement in my arms. I'm waking up my kinesphere. I'm inviting in all of this spaciousness. And I really think of like the internal space, the biotensegrity inside my body, as in direct relationship to the external space, the 3 dimensions, and then multiple combinations of that, almost as if there's no difference between me and the space around me. Like the space around me is fully supportive. Helping me be a human in this world, on this planet, right? The gravitational pull of the earth, it connects us to the earth. People think, oh no, gravity, it's ruining everything. My boobs are dropping, I'm getting wrinkles. But in reality, it's creating our form. If we didn't have gravity, we would not be connected to the planet. So gravity, the water in our bodies, and the earth help us create the form of our body. All right, let's go into a forearm plank, very form-based. 1 knee to the floor at a time, parallel. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Twisting and crossing underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take your pelvis down to the floor. Do a little push-pull. And then from there, we're going to look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder, look over a shoulder and straighten that arm, look over the other shoulder, straighten that arm, look over the shoulder, straighten the arm, bend the opposite leg, and then come back. Look over the shoulder, straighten the arm, bend the opposite leg. See if you can see your foot. Then, if you've got this, you can do a flex, point, and change. Flex, point, change. Flex, point, change. Flex, point, change. Flex, point, change. So again, we're spiraling and we're also arching, right? We're doing a few different things for our spine. Our spine can arch, it can curl, it can spiral, it can laterally flex and extend, and it can do combinations of those things. Last one. Take it down, bend your knees, and drop from side to side. Wagging your tail. As you're wagging your tail, let your neck, shoulders, and throat really soften. Jaw relaxed. And then let's go with opposite arm to leg. So for this version, you're going to lengthen. So I'm going to take one, for me, it's my right hand, probably looks like my left. Reach it out, my opposite leg lifts up and come down and in. So I'm going to lengthen a little bit, and then I'm going to lift. I'm going to come down. I'm going to lengthen the opposite arm and leg, lift and come down. Lengthening out, lift, come down, lengthen out, lift, down, lengthen out, lift, down, lengthen out, lift, down, lengthen out, lift, and relax. Head onto your hands, curl your toes under, and just push up and down. Jello body. Imagine you're a bowl of jello. There is no tension anywhere. Soften and melt. Breathe. And then let's take the hands next to the chest, keeping the tops of the feet on the floor. We're going to baby cobra up, no hands, and exhale, lower. Inhale, arch, exhale, down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, connect your hands, keep going up, and then take it down. You can think of your eyes initiating the movement. So eyes are looking out, up, and it keeps going, going, going. And then release and come down. Eyes out, up, keep going, and come down. One more. Eyes out and up, keep going. If you want to, bend your knees. Try and touch your toes to your head. And then let's come up, take a quick child's pose. Wiggle around. Soften your spine. Fluidity in the spine from the inside toward the outside. You can make your way up. And we're going to do one more thing here, and we're going to go back down to that. So you're just going to look around. So side to side, you're going to do the no. Nope. No, thank you. No, 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 no. And then slow, one side to the other, taking in the environment. Oh, I'm safe. Look around. Everything's fine. I don't need to worry about anything. Here I am in this space. And then we're going to take it forward again, and we're going to go back up. Arching up, 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 and down. And again, up, 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 and down. And last one, up, bend your knees, and take it back. And just child's pose. This time in your child's pose, you can walk your hands to one side, tail the other way. And then shift it, butt one way, arms the other way. And bring it back. And let's come onto our sides. Thanks, Bonnie. All right, let's keep going. So we're on our sides, and we're going to, I was just reading in the chat. So we're going to flex our feet, and we're going to kick up. We're going to go toes to knee. We're going to rotate in, rotate out, and we're going to slide down. Flex up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down. Flex up, toes to knee, in, out, and slide it down, up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down, flex up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down, flex up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down, flex it up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down, and then bend both knees and just relax. Tap it out, let it go. So that was a really three-dimensional way of doing it. We're going to do a quad stretch. Grab on, take your leg behind you. Once you get back here, you can turn your knee in and out a little bit. You probably will feel the different parts of your quad getting a stretch. So like if I just leave it in one place, my muscles are stretching like that, right? But if I start to turn in and out, I'm giving my muscles and my fascia a little bit more differentiated movement, and they're getting more three-dimensionality in the tissue. Yeah. And then release, shake it out. Let's roll over and we're going to cross that ankle over your knee. Actually, let's go knee to knee this time. So knee over knee, you can grab them in. If it's possible to grab your ankles, do that. And then try and circle both feet. Go in one direction and then go the other. When your body's crossed, it does weird things in your brain to figure stuff out. So go back and forth with that and see how that works. It may be easy and it may be like, what is going on? Breathe. And then release and shake it out. Switching it to the other side. For me, with that crossover, the only way I can do it is if I only think about circling one foot and I just allow the other to follow. If I think about circling both of them, something gets weird. But if I just I focus on the top foot, circling that, the other one can follow along. All right, down to your side. On the other side, flexing up, passe, rotate in, rotate out, slide it down. So our legs are straight down below us. We're not in that Pilates pike. We're elongated. Flex up, in, rotate out, slide it down. Flex up, toes to knee, turn it in, turn it out, slide it down. Flex up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down, flex up, toes to knee, rotate in, out, slide it down, flex up, toes to knee, in, out, slide it down. Two more, flex, point, rotate, rotate, slide. Last one, flex, point, in, out, slide it down, and bend both knees and tap it out. Let it go. And then grab on and take it back. Heel towards your butt. So yeah, a few months ago, I was in one of Gil Headley's live sessions, and they were doing the IT band. And what's interesting, you can turn in and out. So the IT band is this big swath of connective tissue that's going down the outside of your leg, and we want that to be strong, right? That is what helps us stand up. If we didn't have that kind of it's almost like packing tape. It's a horrible analogy for it, but maybe it's the closest thing. Well, whatever. Of that top layer. But underneath that top layer is another layer of connective tissue that's very soft and jelly-like that's going across like this. So we want those two layers to, if we didn't have that jelly-like layer underneath, our IT band would glue itself onto whatever's under there. So this exercise of letting it turn in and out is allowing that deeper layer under the IT band to hydrate and move. Yeah, you can take your leg back for that, and you'll get into your quads as well. Good, and then release it, shake it out. Shake, 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 let it go, and then cross your knee over the other one, draw it in, do the circling challenge. Oh, it takes me a while to get going. Go back and forth, change direction with the circles a few times. And then release it. Shake it, shake it, shake it. In and out. Free up your spine again. And let's roll back and forth. And we're going to do one little arm exercise. So taking this double attitude, one knee is bent back, my foot is touching this knee. My hand on this bottom side is going to grab my lat. My top hand goes to the floor, and I'm going to take my shoulder down to the floor, going up and down, going 1, 2, 3. Try to go all the way down if possible. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. And then sweep your legs around the front, change them to the other side, foot to knee, bottom hand grabs your lat, top hand down by your shoulder, up and down for 12, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12, and come up. Let's take take your hand across, grab it in. Once you're there, you're going to rotate that arm in and out. And then other side, take it across, rotate in and out. I'm trying to really sit up tall in here. Opening my chest and my lungs. Good, and release, shake it out, let it go. All right, so let's take both legs out in front. Walk your butt from side to side, forward fold. Surrender, let go, soften. If you need to, bend your knees here. So if you're on the tighter side and you're not really getting forward, then you're actually just going to be doing an isometric contraction, not stretching. So you might need to elevate your pelvis. Sit up on something. If you're very hypermobile in your hamstrings like me, you might want to work on rounding your spine and then lengthening it out so that we're still getting that mobility in the spine. So sometimes when people have one part that's really open, another part can be very tight because it doesn't have to do any work. Yeah, so if you've got super open hamstrings, it might be that your spine doesn't round very easily. It might not be that, but just thinking about that, the whole thing. Hypermobility in one area is often compensated by tightness in another. Good, and relax. Bringing your feet underneath you, taking your knees forward, and then heels towards the floor. So if this hurts to be in a squat, you can just hang out here. That's your alternative version. But if you're okay with being in a squat, knees toward the floor and then heels toward the floor. And your hands can move as necessary. If you don't touch all the way down, that's fine. Stretching out your feet, maybe your lower back. Maybe that inguinal fold is getting some intense folding. And if you have inflammation there, it might be harder to fold. So we want to know, like, if something's restricted, is it because of inflammation? Is it because of like something being bone on bone? So here's an example. I learned this from Irene Dowd, who I studied with a long time ago. And this is about flexibility, and I'll just show it in my ankle because for some people they have like a big talus and then they go into a plie and it stops. If it stops and there's no extra movement, that's bone on bone. If there's a little bit of movement, it could be ligament. And if there's a fair amount of movement, that's tendon, that's going to move easier. If we don't have a lot of movement or if we have no movement, we don't want to try and push that further, right? If bone on bone is happening, don't try to force that open. Don't try and get more flexible there. So like for a while, like I was working on this, you can see there's some bounce. So I could go further, right? But I ended up at one point really overstretching it. And then the outside of my greater stroke canter was required to do too much, right? So sometimes we think, oh, the tight thing is here. I got to force that. I got to open that up. But sometimes the restriction is saving your body. So sometimes when people think about, it's not like we don't all need to just be flopping around like we're in Cirque du Soleil. That is not going to be the healthiest thing unless we're in Cirque du Soleil or that's what our job is. Like then we're, dancing in Las Vegas or whatever. But for most people, like sometimes the stability is really protecting our bodies. Anyway, that was my big thought on that. Let's stand up and finish it off with some breathing. Inhale, open, and exhale. So yeah, so big changes in flexibility, in strength, and anything like that. We want our body to have time to adjust. Like big changes are probably going to be an injury. So go slow. Let the things adjust, evolve, and shift in a time that a human body can relate to, which is generally slow. And let's just do some spiraling also. So we got into our vertical, now horizontal. And let's take one final fold in the sagittal. Just hang down there. Let your head release. You can shake it no, nod yes. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders. And then bring it back up, rolling it up through your spine. One more big inhale. Open up and exhale, let it go. Everyone in TV land, if you have not liked and subscribed, please do that. It will help me tremendously. And